powerful is the healing power of Vaseline? We applied Vaseline jelly to one leaf, the other we left alone. After just a few days, the difference is visible. Nothing locks in moisture better to keep skin restored. That's the healing power of Vaseline.
To help fight the spread of coronavirus, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of coronavirus in Kenya.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial formula and deep cleaning gel keeps your teeth clean and protected. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath and more.
There was a moment in time when we stopped attending physical classes to stay safe, but that did not mean that learning had to stop. At ZTech University, we continue to deliver the highest quality of education through technology and integrated innovation in educating our future leaders. We now have the go-ahead to go back on the quest of knowledge, to go back and search for solutions that our world needs. As we reopen to this new normal, we are committed to excellence. We have adhered to the Ministry of Health COVID-19 guidelines, keeping our students and the learning environment safe. We're back. We're safe. We're learning. We admit both self and government-sponsored students for our degree, diploma and certificate programs that are accredited by the Commission for University Education. ZTech University. Invent your future.
Enjoy Good Life new shopping experience. Seek and you shall find. Visit www.goodlife.co.ke to shop. Search and pick your preferred product. Check out and give your location details. Pick your payment method and wait for your delivery to arrive. It's quick. Click and pick.
Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant with the power of black carbon formula. 48-hour protection from sweat and bacteria. For a deep, clean feeling that lasts. New Nivea Men Deep Antiperspirant. Nivea Men. It starts with you. Official sponsor of Real Madrid.
This is NTV.
It's about 3 minutes to the top of the hour and you're just in time for NTV tonight. So what say we get this baby on the air?
Tonight, more than 50 misbehaving teens arrested in Bungoma and Kisumu counties.
Kulikuwa na watoto wa shule ambao miaka yao ni kuanzia 14 hadi 17.
Unapata msichana wako kuja, unapata kijana wako kuja. Ni nini? Mimi niko na hasira, hata nilikuwa nataka niende kwa DE achukue hatua.
The host of 44 youth in the Nairobi case in custody for a week. Also tonight, the police are reopening the 2007-2008 post-election violence cases.
We are talking about those who fell victim of seeing their own children, husbands, wives, mothers and fathers killed, homicide.
Questions and concerns over the intent and implications.
I have every reason to believe there must be a link with maneno ICC. Hata hii surrender ya Kisheru sasa, DCI and others and their cohorts must tell us what they know.
Plus, it's BBI or bust, pandemic or not.
There will never be any right timing because things will be happening. Today it is COVID. Tomorrow it will be famine.
The next track on the reggae album is ready to be launched the signature tune.
Will be read by the President and the Prime Minister on Wednesday at KICC to begin this journey of correcting signatures.
And the COVID-19 infections and deaths are still rising, the number of medics is dropping, and their surviving colleagues are increasingly uneasy.
We are going through hell, taking care of ourselves, and nobody is even taking care of us. As a clinical officer, I'm feeling dejected, rejected and neglected.
But the search for hope is still on as Kenya is involved in a vaccine trial.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
And I'm not alone. Florentino is our sign language interpreter, backed by a full team to bring you the day's developments. And something really sick is happening in the society. 3 women have been arrested in 3 different occurrences in 3 different counties for having been found in the company of more than 80 teenagers. The teens were found drinking, smoking, and using an array of drugs while engaging in sexual acts. The 3 events have happened in under a week, sparking concern for the societal values that seem to be under threat. Could this be an organized syndicate? Charity Mwangi is on that beat tonight.
The first case of children being involved in orgy-like meetings was discovered in Nairobi, and it seems to be replaying in other counties. Kisumu and Bungoma being the latest to uncover the secret parties that have parents scratching their heads. In Webuye, Bungoma County, more than 20 teenagers were found in a local club, drinking and smoking. The children, who comprised of 14 girls and 7 boys, were found in the Santa Barbara restaurant in the company of a woman whose identity is yet to be made public. The group was apparently celebrating the birthday party of their generous host. Their reveling ways must have made other patrons uncomfortable as the police were alerted. Among those arrested was the hotel manager for obvious reasons.
Miaka yao pia inaanzia 14 hadi 17. Ndipo hao wote waliweza kushikwa na mwenye alikuwa anacheza DJ na kayateka wa hiyo bar, pamoja na huyo msichana mwenye alikuwa anafanyiwa birthday party na bwana yake.
While Nairobi residents continue reeling from the shock of the weekend discovery in Mountain View Estate, the lady whose house hosted 44 other teenagers engaging in drug use and illicit sex was today arraigned at the Milimani Children's Court. Meanwhile, the National Parents Association has weighed in on the matter, terming the events as organized criminal activity orchestrated by a group looking to make money from the naive youth.
So we believe there is money in it. And you know, anything to do with money, anything can happen. So we believe that this thing is there. They want to do some explicit content so that they can export it elsewhere.
That they were going to be taken to some place in Malindi. Normal person is going to understand that there is nothing they were going to do but to be abused and used sexually for money.
The association has also faulted the Ministry of Education for failing to ensure the children are gainfully occupied during the pandemic. They claim that soon after the progressive reopening of schools, all the teachers reported back to schools, abandoning over 14 million children still at home.
Most of the teachers are idle in school. So we can arrange and have the rest come back to our homes.
It is a paralyzing yet likely scenario that, given the pandemic conditions currently, there are thousands other children who may be exposed to the vagaries of becoming prey to social misfits.
We have some parents who are also selling their children out and also doing what we call child labor.
The responsibility of raising children is not just on parents, but on the entire society. And so when their upbringing is questioned, the blame falls on each and every one of us. So what part have you played in the outcomes that we are seeing? Charity Mwangi, NTV.
It doesn't end there, unfortunately. Irate parents in Seme, sub-county in Kisumu, want the authorities to take action against a woman who allegedly hosted over 30 youths in her house on Saturday night for a birthday party in total disregard of the COVID-19 protocols. The partygoers, amongst them students from a neighboring secondary school, were found in the house drinking alcohol, smoking bang and engaging in sexual activities as well. Okokusa has the details.
Police raided this house in Magwar village, Kisumu, at 3 a.m. on Sunday, arresting about 20 youths merrymaking inside this house belonging to Eunice Odhiambo.
Nikisalala kitu nikasikia ikifanya nikauliza Sam ni nini naendelea? Kumbe ni maskari wamefanya nini? Wameingia. Nasikia. Sasa maskari vile waliingia wakaanza kukimbia juu nini watoto wakaanza kukimbia wakijificha.
Some of the youngsters scaled the walls and hid themselves in the ceiling to escape the dragnet.
Sasa baadaye maskari moja akapanda juu ndio mimi nikafungua bedroom yangu nikitokezea huko.
Neighbors called in the police after they allegedly saw a number of young people dressed skimpily enter the house on Saturday night, moments before the party began.
Wasasi walitoka huko Kisian hata hadi Obambo. Wanakuja kusachi watoto yao. Unapata msichana wako wako uji, unapata kijana wako wako uji. Ni nini? Wewe msasi umeficha mtoto asiwe uji na msasi fulani anachukua mtoto wake ana encourage uji na siku. Hiyo ni nini? Neckness. Hiyo inafaa kweli. Mimi niko na hasira hata nilikuwa nataka niende kwa DE achukue hatua.
Some are Form 2 and Form 3 students from Magwar Model Secondary School. Parents allegedly parted with up to 5,000 shillings to free their children from police custody.
Mimi niliomba tu watu pesa huko sokoni huko Magwar. Wakanisaidia sasa niko na deni. Ili nipate kutoa mtoto wangu.
Eunice was arrested but later released, denied hosting an orgy in her house.
Hata mimi sikuona watoto wenye walikuwa huko. Kulikuwa tuna wenye wamevaa kinyasa, sio ati uchi.
Tena walikuwa wangapi?
Siwezi jua ni ngapi. Juu mimi nitoka kama wameshashikwa.
Lakini walikuwa wengi.
Walikuwa kitu wengi.
Okokusa, NTV.
And this is sadly just one among many, many instances where concern for the children is rife. In Mailine, Uasin Gishu County, 3 young men allegedly molested a 9-year-old boy 2 days ago, after which they gave him 20 shillings to silence him. The boy's mother says that on the fateful day, he was bleeding, in pain, and had uncontrolled bowel movements. Upon interrogation, the minor revealed that he had been sexually abused. The victim of sodomy has since received treatment by way of corrective surgery and medication. NTV has seen the medical records indicating that the boy was sexually abused. His mother says she is yet to take legal steps as she is first attending to him health-wise before starting the formal process of seeking justice, which she intends to start tomorrow, that is Tuesday, even as she seeks legal support. And Lois Wangoi will definitely follow up on this story. Now, on to the issue of the COVID-19 situation. And today, in the last 24 hours, that is, there have been 413 cases from a sample size of 3,489. And this, of course, also having the readings of those who've lost their lives in the fight against the pandemic, and 12 more deaths, bringing the total death toll now to 1,392. The recoveries so far, 51,900 at least, after 396 were released. Now, as these numbers came out as well today, earlier, there was a session where healthcare workers had a sit-down with, or at least a virtual sit-down with a Senate committee on their plight. And we also have some of the accounts by the doctors in terms of their exposure in their line of work, be it the issue of not having the PPEs and having to also reuse masks, overcrowded hospitals, wards, and lack of risk allowance. As this was happening, the news of the death of Kisii Clinical Officer David Makori and Said Omar from Kajiado to COVID-19 also emerged. During the hearing, the chair of the Health Committee, Abdullahi Ali, revealed that the Speaker of the Senate, Kenneth Lusaka, had barred Senate prevent members from visiting Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, something they said they will go against.
And nobody is even taking care of us. As a clinical officer, I'm feeling dejected, rejected and neglected by my own employer and even my country at large.
How can the Speaker of the House refuse a committee to go and see these PPEs and all these equipment which are necessary for the people of Kenya, the health personnel of this country, which are lying idle in KEMSA? We have demanded to have a meeting with the Speaker tomorrow. We are planning to go and visit KEMSA on Wednesday and tell them and ask them why they are keeping those things. Those things, they have already procured them at very expensive rates. You know that. The so-called COVID billionaires have taken their dues, but the equipments are lying there idle when the members of the health profession are asked to recycle. Can you imagine? Recycle 3-ply masks, not even the surgical masks.
Or maybe some hope here, and Kenya may be considering getting into a bilateral partnership with AstraZeneca to get more doses of the vaccine. This follows the announcement by the British Drugs Group along with the University of Oxford that they are currently seeking regulatory approval for their coronavirus vaccine after effective trials in the latest potential boost to curbing the global outbreak. The partners announced that while the vaccine showed an average of 70% effectiveness, the level jumped to 90% depending on the dosage. Anita Nkonge has the details.
Despite varying outcomes, AstraZeneca Chief Executive Pascal Soriot insists his firm's vaccine would have an immediate impact, and Kenya is said to be taking part in the trials, although the Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has previously called for caution.
Yeah, that's correct.
The vaccine has shown 90% efficacy when given as a half dose followed by a full dose at least 1 month apart. The result was 62% as 2 full doses. In the same period, AstraZeneca firm said it would look to develop up to 3 billion doses of the vaccine in 2021 after passing regulatory hurdles. Internationally, more than 23,000 adults in the UK and Brazil have taken part in the Astra-Oxford trials, with the number expected to rise to up to 60,000 thanks to testing also in other countries, including Kenya, with further trials planned for other European and Asian countries. Meanwhile, manufacturers Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna last week said trials of their vaccines showed effectiveness above 90% in what was hailed as a breakthrough in stopping the spread of the virus. The Pfizer vaccine has to be stored at negative 70 degrees Celsius, much colder than temperatures of a standard freezer. That has prompted questions about distribution and storage, as well as higher costs, particularly for lower-income countries. But the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine could be stored, transported, and handled at normal refrigerated conditions of between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius for at least 6 months. US biotech giant Pfizer and German partner BioNTech have already sought approval to roll out the coronavirus vaccine early. The move has been seen as a welcome step towards relief as surging infections prompt a return to shutdowns that traumatized nations and the global economy earlier this year. G20 leaders on Sunday said they would spare no effort to ensure the fair distribution of coronavirus vaccines worldwide and support poor countries whose economies have been ravaged by the crisis.
From the vaccine hunt to a signature hunt, if we could call it that, politics. Now, ODM leader Raila Odinga says some proposals raised by different groups have been incorporated into the final draft of the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, as the BBI Secretariat also says the bill is ready and has been published. The committee also notes the signatures collection will kick off this Wednesday after it was put off last week. NTV senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi tells us that the concerns of prioritizing BBI during the pandemic have not stopped reggae and do not likely or look likely to do so.
Political temperatures have been rising over the Building Bridges initiative process. This has been said to be threatening the realization of the handshake dream. The BBI team has been accused of bulldozing its stand by refusing to incorporate views by other parties. But ODM party leader Raila Odinga says the views in question have been incorporated into the final report.
That's the reason why we are allowing more time. And we say that those are being handled as some editorial corrections. And those have been done. And we will try to be as inclusive as possible.
The former Prime Minister, who held a meeting with various Mount Kenya political leaders, stood his ground that the crucial and genuine views raised have been accommodated and time is of the essence.
Even if you allow this thing to continue to next year, the year after next year, there still will be people with views to bring. So there must be an end sometimes to views collection. Then you move with what you have, because we now have a document. So if you don't agree with it, then go and oppose it.
As Mount Kenya, we committed to this process and we will work with them on this journey to the very end.
Is sharing powers between the presidency and the parliament a wrong thing? When somebody speaks about imperial president, let them point out to you where is it in this recommendation, rather than just say something which is not there.
NTV has learned that there have been efforts to reach out to the divergent voices in efforts to reach a consensus without appearing to be ceding ground.
I have never known anywhere in the world where a referendum was held which was not contested. Because there's no point. If there's a complete agreement in the country, then we just go ahead and implement it.
While all the politics heat up, there has been a concern over the priorities in the pandemic. Critics say that the BBI's apparent prioritization by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM's Raila Odinga is misplaced given that the country has a greater, more pressing need, and that is the coronavirus.
You know, there will never be any right timing, because things will be happening. Today it is COVID. Tomorrow it will be famine. It will be drought. Locust invasion, or La Nina. And so on and so forth.
The newly set up BBI Secretariat, chaired by National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohammed and former Dagoretti South MP Dennis Waweru, has backed the former PM's sentiments with guidance on the next steps.
This process is on, and we are going to take off on Wednesday, and I'm sure all Kenyans of goodwill are going to board this train.
And the bill is ready. The people who are preparing the bill have told us the bill is here and the bill is ready. Can you now move forward? So we are moving forward.
The launch of the signatures collection slated for Wednesday this week to be officiated by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, according to the BBI Secretariat, is a warning shot to the naysayers who have for long believed that this process is a non-starter. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV at the BBI Secretariat in Nairobi County.
It's 17 minutes past the hour, 48 hours to go for that signature signing exercise to be launched. So why don't I give you a break at this point? I promise you I'll be back. You have my word. Heck, I'll sign on it. Stay with us.
Fresh Fry Premium Cooking Oil now has a new look and an advanced spout and seal. Triple refined, zero cholesterol and natural vitamin E. Fresh Fry, always heart friendly. Now it's even more cooking friendly. Fresh Fry, the premium cooking oil for healthy living.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
It's always a full house this season when the family comes together.
To reconnect.
One thing we do, we watch GoTV. We love it.
It's all about making the holiday special.
For the kids.
That means keeping the GoTV subscription active because they love it.
GoTV is everyone's favorite place this festive season.
Usimiss out. Get GoTV decoder kwa shilingi 1999.
GoTV. Love it. Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
So vile nasema, wacha nikubatie statistics. Niko na gamia 1500. Tunakuwa drapo gamia na kuwa 6000. 2000 natengeneza leather, natengeneza viatu, wallet, kibeti, nauza hapa, na batia wewe 50%. Wacha niweke credit nikupigie.
Namna gani wewe? Hii mambo ya kuishiwa na credit kila saa. Come on. Nunua hiyo simu ya Vodafone. Calling fiber to fiber is 0 shillings per minute. And it is not expensive. Only 2,999 Kenya shillings.
Alo hali wa. Hata fadhali hiyo credit ikae ninunue simu basi.
Faibika leo na Vodafone for only 2,999 Kenya shillings. It will always be free to call fiber to fiber.
Kila siku unapokaza mshipi, unapozidi bidii, unapoongeza maarifa ya kuimarisha maisha, unapoongeza nguvu ya kukusongeza mbele, unaposherehekea na kuwakaribisha wengine kufurahia nawe, unapojijenga kibiashara na kuonyesha penzi lako, unga unaozaidisha uko papo hapo, kuzaidisha utamu wa maisha kwa kila namna, kila mara. Familia ya Ajab imeongezeka ili uzidishe mapishi. Mambo ni Ajab.
At Jumia, it's Black Friday every Friday. Over 1,000 amazing deals and discounts every day. Jumia Black Fridays, even crazier with DTB.
I was looking for you.
I'm not interested to talk to someone like you.
Yeah, is that part of the party? It's coming over. Oh.
I want an explanation.
The only explanation I can give is that I have never had any photographs of that kind taken. I know it's my face, but I swear to God, it's not me.
This is you.
No. How is it possible that you can stoop so low? Mom! You haven't only disgraced the family, but you have also disgraced yourself!
Josefina! No, ma'am! Two sisters who aren't worth it.
Get your value-added plots today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pay-saters in real estate.
Welcome back. Chief Justice David Maraga is expected to proceed on terminal leave in 2 weeks' time. This is in preparation for his retirement on January the 12th when he turns 70 years of age, beg your pardon. But what does this mean for the recruitment of his successor, given a polarized Judicial Service Commission and a Deputy Chief Justice fighting criminal prosecution? Olive Burrows found some answers.
David Maraga's tenure as Chief Justice has been anything but a run-of-the-mill, and his exit has proved just as fraught. In the latest turn of events, the Office of the Chief Registrar has notified him that he's expected to go on terminal leave in 2 weeks' time. But what will this mean for the operations of the court, given a Judicial Service Commission whose members are already in a public spat over how to go about recruiting a successor, and a Deputy Chief Justice whose removal the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is pursuing?
It is not be suspended because the suspension is not automatic. It is something that a decision that is made. I don't think a decision has been made effectively right now to suspend her.
A recruitment process further complicated by the executive and legislature, chomping at the bit to cut the judicial arm of government to size.
But the lobbying, that is only natural. Anybody who expects that not to happen is, like I said, criminally naive. Also, don't forget that the Chief Justice is a quasi-political institution. It is not just a judicial office.
Still smarting from Maraga setting into motion the process for its dissolution, Parliament is considering a bill that, if passed, would in future see the process of securing a successor to the Chief Justice start 6 months prior to the expiry of tenure. An act of law which would settle the predicament the JSC presently finds itself in. One faction making the case that the process of securing a successor should be well underway before the CJ leaves office, while the other views it as jumping the gun.
And I'm not sure that disagreements with the JSC necessary to lack of independence. I mean, the JSC is not meant to be acquired.
What is undisputed is the process of selecting Maraga's successor is a defining moment for the judiciary. Under Maraga's stewardship, it tested the limits of power, annulling a presidential election win and advising the president to dissolve parliament. There are also more pressing matters to consider. Aside from the timely interventions necessitated by the coronavirus, there is also the Supreme Court's quorum to consider.
The DCJ has not been sitting. That complicates the quorum. So in terms of operations, it's not fatal, but it's not ideal.
From the judicial side of things and what awaits that office, at least the Chief Justice's office, we'll be getting to a story that caught many people by some sort of surprise, and that is revisiting the post-election violence of 2008 that followed the elections 2007, and we'll be looking at some of the implications and reactions so far. But before that, let's look at the environmental developments. And the Ministry of Environment has decided to extend the 2018 moratorium on logging in public and community forests. Harvesting and disposal of forest plantation materials shall now be overseen by a multi-agency team in an open and transparent manner. Details of the specific forest areas to be harvested along with the terms and conditions are to be published in due course. The moratorium was implemented in 2018 after it was discovered that excessive deforestation was having negative effects on the environment, including prolonged dry seasons and acute water shortage, amongst many other issues. And it's time for another break. Business news follows.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared, because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
Go ahead is believing to make each day a brighter day. It's those small acts that go a long way. Go ahead is our determination to rise. Going ahead is our courage to do something new. Go ahead is never giving up in the face of adversity. It means growing our own. It is making the most of what we have. To go ahead. Now, that is the Kenyan spirit.
Kuenda mbele ni roho ya Kenya. Rock Industries brings you Rock Plastic with a variety of kitchenware, ranging from kitchen dishes, cups, plates, clothesline pegs, spoons, and even rulers for learners. All this coming in your preferred size, beautiful colors and texture, and our products are one shop away from where you are across the country. All Rock Industries Limited products are 100% virgin raw material that is cost-friendly. For these and more products, contact our offices on 0722 575619 or 0736 02 8181. You can also visit our offices in Industrial Area, Ndume Road, off Lunga Lunga Road, Nairobi.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
We all are looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medifax for Dettol.
Kira! Kira? Where are you?
Malaria!
That's why you need the superior protection of Mortein 360-degree reach. Only this has 11 fans which enable it to reach the farthest corners. Mortein, total indoor protection.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Business. I'm Dan Mwangi. Now, barely 6 months after Kenya received 78 billion shillings worth of a loan from the International Monetary Fund, that's the IMF, the government has reached out to the multilateral lender, yet again, seeking credit to the tune of 251 billion shillings. Julian Samboko now takes a look at what this means for the economy.
With revenue for the first 4 months of the current financial year having come in at 784 billion shillings against the targeted 943 billion shillings, the government is clearly hard-pressed to ramp up revenue collection to meet its expenditure. 6 days after the International Monetary Fund concluded its mission to the country, it has emerged that the government has reached out for yet another loan to prop its COVID-19 response as infections continue to surge. If approved, it is unlikely that the loan will come easy to Kenya, with the fund's mission statement having indicated demands such as the streamlining of struggling state-owned enterprises and ramping up of tax revenue as possible conditions for the program-based support. Whereas another loan would certainly undermine Kenya's debt sustainability profile, the government has recurrently downplayed concerns around the debt position, particularly when credit is sourced from multilateral bodies such as the IMF.
IMF actually indicated as total based on the overall, they said our debt sustainable, our debt is highly sustainable.
Among the IMF's demands is a relook into the national budget for the current financial year. Kenyans are most likely going to see a supplementary budget tabled in the near future, with revenue and expenditure estimates streamed to more realistic levels in light of the adverse economic environment.
Not every country can access the multilateral market as a walk-in, walk-out like us. It's as a result of deliberate policy measures that we put in place, and our fiscal framework is sound and is actually attractive.
Julian Amboko, NTV.
Now, more than 700 workers at the Kericho-based James Finlayt will lose their jobs by the end of the year after an attempt by the area local leaders to forestall their retrenchment hit a dead end. The redundancy notice, which is expected to take effect from the 31st of December this year, was issued last Friday, a move the company said was a result of a difficult business environment occasioned by, among other things, low tea prices, low demand for various products, and increased external costs. Now, after a 2.5-hour meeting with the company's management, the area leaders led by Senator Bomet, that's Senator Christopher Langat, told journalists that the meeting had bore no fruit, meaning the more than 700 employees will be jobless in just over a month's time.
We have reached a stalemate, and there is no major issue that we are bringing to the employees. In other words, it means the letters that they have already sent this morning are already enforced.
We've given them an option of giving them VER, voluntary early retirement. We've given them an option of extending the issue of sending them away by another 1 year so that these people can get to plan themselves accordingly, because we know most of these people have been staying here for as long as their childhood. Most of them were even born in the tea estates. So it is very unfair. It is unfortunate to send these people as early as now.
The quest for sustainable finance in Kenya has received a boost after the Kenya Bankers Association and the Kenya Climate Innovation Center partnered to promote implementation of green finance projects by leveraging on climate change innovations and research. Through the partnership, KBA and KCIC will collaborate on resource mobilization, capacity building, as well as policy advocacy towards promoting the implementation of green finance initiatives, besides designing enterprise support programs meant to address some of the barriers that both large enterprises and SMEs face while running their businesses. The agreement comes days after KCB Group was accredited by the United Nations Green Climate Fund as the first financial intermediary for the implementation of green financing in East Africa.
We will be able now to talk to the banks and try to kind of provide the platform where they can be able to have some insights about green financing, about climate financing, may it be for large organizations, may it be for SMEs.
I see ourselves leveraging on each other to be able to support the banks, to be able to support the MSMEs, and there are a number of areas we can collaborate in, for example, resource mobilization, capacity building, either within the banks themselves or within the MSMEs to be able to play their due role.
The county government of ElgeyoMarakwet is building on its infrastructure with a particular focus on the inter-county road networks. In partnership with the national government, many of the county's roads have been tarmacked. NTV's Lois Wangoi now looks at the developments and their impact on trade and tourism in the county.
For any visitor to the county of ElgeyoMarakwet, the highlands, the lowlands, and the hanging valleys are some of the must-visit sites, and thus the county had to put up its road networks to link these three attractions.
97 kilometers of new roads, maintain the existing roads, and especially looking at ElgeyoMarakwet. The biggest challenge is to access the three zones.
In Mongo village, Marakwet East, this new road is a path to progress. It is a first for the area residents.
Zamani, wakati barabara haikuwa, tulikuwa na umia hata mtu akigonjeka pande hii, tunabeba na ile nini, gunia.
The new roads cutting through the county provide access to the markets and have made it much easier for the residents to sell their abundance of potatoes, fruits, honey, and livestock.
Zamani tulikuwa naenda soko kutumia punda, lakini kwa sasa naona imerahisisha kazi. Ya gari sasa inakuja mpaka kwa mlango.
Connecting Kapsawar Ward and Aror through the material called Koitilia Road, which is a new road that we opened as a county.
At the newly built Kapcherop Market, complete with a shade, clean water and toilets, trade is thriving.
Kuna wakati tulikuwa tunahangaika sana, lakini sasa wakati tuko ndani tunasikia sasa tuko raha kabisa.
Na nimesomesha watoto kwa hii soko. I have a graduate, ninaye mwenye wako MTC, ninaye mwenye wako colleges, ninaye mwenye wako Moi na kwa hii soko.
In Keyo North region, tourism prospects have been given a boost by the nearly complete Iten-Hanin road that leads to the Rimoi National Reserve.
We are also doing another one in Tambaj, Songeto, which is we are opening. In the parts of Keyo South, we have Simit area and Changach, which is also a very rough terrain.
The public too actively contribute in budget-making processes within the county's 20 wards, helping drive development to the grassroots.
Another good example we have in Chebarorwa ward. There's a road that is connecting over 4 locations. And with only 14 million as allocated and using our county machinery.
Most of the former dirt roads in Iten, Tambach and Kapsoar town have now been tarmacked through the county's partnership with the Kenya Urban Support Program and the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of ElgeyoMarakwet.
Coming from the story on the roads, it's time for me to hit the road, at least for this part of the bulletin. Mark Masai has more, including what's been happening in Uganda. Have yourself a good night. I'm done.
Every time Gran arrives, she always has a small reward for her.
I made this for you today.
Ah, thank you, my baby. It's so beautiful.
Wow!
She's happy, and I trust it because it's made with milk and other carefully controlled ingredients, without any colorings or preservatives. Care has been taken to make it. I love to see her happy because it meets her taste and fantasy. Kinder Joy, my trust, their joy.
National Nurses Association of Kenya have about 15,000 nurses in 47 counties. When the first case was pronounced, the whole nation ran into panic. You remember when the first patients were going to the health facilities, the doctors, the nurses were taking off, and you couldn't have blamed them. The only way to defeat this fear was to train these guys and to provide them with a personal protective gear and psychosocial support. Equity actually gave us a check towards training and psychosocial support. We struggled to buy the basic items, the thermal gun, the gloves, the masks, and the sanitizers. We prayed for resources through Equity Group. The first batch of PPE has been distributed to all the counties, and you could feel their joy, their gratitude, because they didn't know where the protective gear would come. They really feel that support from Equity, and they are really appreciative about it.
We all are looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medifax for Dettol.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water, and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
When you lead the way, others follow. Camon 16 Premier, next level camera evolution.
Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory you can open an account and lipa pole pole at your convenience? Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory you can get customized sizes according to your roof plan to avoid wastage? Did you know Ruiru Mabati Factory offers free delivery countrywide within 72 hours?
To order, call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Thank you for staying with NTV tonight. 13 years after the 2007 elections, over 100 victims of the post-election violence have recorded statements with the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in what the DCI director says is another chance at justice for those who were afflicted. While the firm-speaking police boss said justice must be served, he has been criticized for the move as various leaders claim it is politically motivated. Ruth Sarmwe reports.
The pains of the 2007-2008 post-election violence are being revisited. At the Directorate of Criminal Investigations headquarters, a group of guests were hosted in an unusual event. The DCI says that these were 118 victims of the 2007-2008 post-election violence who were there to record their statements of the harrowing experiences they went through at the time.
Those who fell victim of seeing their own children, husbands, wives, mothers and fathers killed, homicide. Today, we have registered around 72 cases. The witnesses and all are here with us. Then we have run displacement. Those who are banished from the rightful place of enjoyment of the economic activities, home. Around 44 cases today, and maybe more are coming. Then, you know, the most sensitive, where people shy from reporting. But this one, we are going to employ everything, particularly gender-based violence. This is about gang rape.
The police say the victims lived in fear of pursuing justice after the case at the International Criminal Court was terminated due to interference of witnesses. While the matters had largely been left to rest, the DCI Director, George Kinoti, says he is confident that his office will leave no table unturned to ensure that enough evidence is collected to prosecute the perpetrators of such injustices.
Ya kwamba security yenu kwanza ndio kitu yetu ya muhimu sana. Msiwe na uoga. Tafadhali msiwe na uoga. Kwa ile mingine yote mmeongea na wao, wamenielezea, maafisa wangu wote wako hapa. We are going to the field and soon we are going to see action.
He says that his office received complaints from various communities whose members claim they are being profiled and intimidated amid rising political temperatures in the country. But this has been contested.
Kama kungekuwa na matatizo, tuko na wazee wa mitaa 2,800 in this country. There is no way we would not know those information. We have more than 150 chiefs. Iwezi kuwa ati hii ndio discovery ati umefanya.
Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago, whose county was among the most hit in the skirmishes, has however criticized the office of the DCI's intent and implications on the move, questioning why it has taken 13 years to prosecute this case, and coming just after lawyer Paul Gisheru surrendered to the Hague-based court in relation to the post-poll skirmishes.
I have every reason to believe there must be a link with manene ICC. Hata hii surrender ya Gisheru sasa, DCI and others and their cohorts must tell us what they know and what they are planning. But I want to tell them this, as the people of Uasin Gishu County, we are not ready for disruption of peace. So anybody with any of their schemes, tafadhali wachana na sisi raia tupambane na hali yetu ya COVID.
Mandago, who reads mischief in the matter, says he and the Council of Elders from the communities in the county will issue a statement Tuesday. Ruth Sarmoi, NTV.
Now, to a country facing pre-election violence, if you could call it that, the death toll from incidents of violence in last week's protests over the arrest of Uganda's National Unity Platform Party's presidential candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi, is now up to 45, according to police. Human rights organizations have condemned the brutal arrest and killings. An independent expert representing Africa on the UN Human Rights Council has cautioned that the country risks sanctions if the violations continue.
The relatives and friends of 45 people who were killed in incidents of violence last week are still grieving for their loved ones.
It's unfortunate that the riots have so far claimed 45 lives, and this includes 39 male adults and 6 women.
A number of them were shot dead by security officials. Others are in hospitals, while some were arrested on allegations of being behind the violence and are behind bars.
So far, a total of 836 suspects have been arrested. 362 of these were charged to court.
The violence broke out after news that National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu had been arrested as he headed to Luuka to campaign. The Uganda Human Rights Commission and the Foundation for Human Rights Initiative condemned the killings and indiscriminate shooting.
The Commission therefore condemns in the strongest terms possible the perpetrators of the violence that was experienced, irrespective of which side they belong.
The events of last week are highly regrettable. They are indeed very despicable. What we saw is a clear indication of a state at its weakest.
On Friday, Security Minister General Eri Tumwine justified the shooting.
Police has a right to shoot you and kill you if you reach a certain level of violence. Can I repeat?
Neither in law nor in practice is such an act acceptable.
There is no specific legal provision that says police you can kill or shoot to kill. However, what is provided for is that for any police officer to use force, that force has to be lawful, it has to be necessary, it has to be proportional to the threat that is being faced by that police officer.
Sewanyana, who is an independent expert representing Africa on the UN Human Rights Council, cautions the government of Uganda that Uganda could face sanctions if human rights violations continue.
Member states have a duty to call them to account and to call them to order. As we know, there are many countries which have violated human rights and have faced sanctions.
Human rights defenders want a full investigation into these incidents.
We therefore urge the responsible authorities to pursue this matter to the end.
The challenge right now is that Uganda Human Rights Commission is not fully constituted to carry out an independent investigation.
At present, we have no substantive chairperson. I'm only acting.
Jingo Francis, NTV.
I'm sure you've had enough of the dark period Kenya was in 2007 and what Uganda is going through right now in terms of election-related violence. So let's give you a break. Sports News is up next with Ida Waringa.
sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Every day, you hear news reports about the violence that children face.
We face sexual violence that tears our lives apart. We are beaten in our homes where we're supposed to be safe and even in school. We are insulted and berated.
If you see me being sexually abused, stop it.
If you see me being beaten, stop it.
If you see me being hit, stop it.
If you see me being bullied, stop it.
The violence against us will not end until you stop it. And the stories will remain the same until you change them.
Any form of violence against children is wrong. Report cases of abuse to a trusted adult, children's officers, the police, or call the Child Helpline 116. Spot it and stop it.
Athi Waterworks Development Agency has moved. The new space is bigger and better. We have renewed our commitment to accelerate access to clean water and improved sanitation. Visit us at Athi Water Plaza on Muthaiga North Road off Kiambu Road. Athi Waterworks Development Agency, accelerating access to water and sanitation.
Pata kila kitu upendacho kwa M-Pesa kupitia *334#.
If we had not gone into PPEs right now, we wouldn't be having this opportunity to tell the story of how equity helped the local sector. There's a lot more that we can do locally. Let's explore and let's see what we can do.
Equity. Bega kwa bega.
We provide retirement savings solutions for everyone. Our products include statutory deductions, additional voluntary contributions, gratuity management, lab fund AMO, group life assurance, Imarisha, UMA, Ufanisi, and diaspora retirement savings plans. For more information, visit our website at www.labfund.or.ke. LabFund. Work, save, retire.
Golden rules for clear and smooth skin, brought to you by Mentholatum Acnes.
Acne's Vitamin Cleanser deeply cleanses for an even skin tone, enriched with vitamin A, B3, B5, C and E for youthful-looking skin.
When it comes to pimple care, Acne's Creamy Wash contains multiple vitamins and removes excessive oil and dirt. Acne's Toner rejuvenates skin. Acne's Sealing Gel fights bacteria.
I was looking for you.
I'm not interested to talk to someone like you.
Yeah, is that party? It's coming over. Oh!
I want an explanation!
The only explanation I can give is that I have never had any photographs of that kind taken. I know it's my face, but I swear to God, it's not me.
But this is you!
How is it possible that you can stoop so low? Mom! You haven't only disgraced the family, but you have also disgraced yourself!
Josefina! No, ma'am! Two sisters who aren't worth it.
Get your value-added plot today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pay-saters in real estate.
A very good evening to you. Time for the latest happening in the world of sport. I am Ida Warangan, hoping that you had a fantastic start to your week. While Kenya's national under-20 team is off to a good start in the CECAFA Under-20 Championship after downing Ethiopia 3-0 in their first group match played at the Sheikh Amri Abeid Stadium in Arusha, Tanzania. Gor Mahia striker, Benson Omala inspired the win when he headed the opener in the 37th minute before Ronald Reagan added the second 9 minutes later. Omala then set up Enoch Wanyama to tap home the third goal 13 minutes to the end. The result takes Kenya, who were the losing finalists in 2019 in Uganda, top of Group C with 3 points ahead of their second match against Sudan on Friday at the same venue. The two finalists of the tournament earned slots to the 2021 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations finals set for Mauritania. A positive start there by the Rising Stars. And pending government approval, this week we'll see the resumption of Kenya's top flight football league after an 8-month hiatus. This time rebranded as the Football Kenya Federation Premier League. The mandatory process of having the teams tested for COVID-19 has gotten underway, with Kariobangi Sharks, Bidco United and KCB FC undergoing the tests. AFC Leopards, who haven't won the title in over 2 decades, get started against Posta Rangers that will be at Nyayo Stadium on Saturday in their latest attempt. Kakamega Homeboys will be away to Mathare United at Kasarani as Bandari host Zoo FC in Mombasa. Sunday's action will see 5 games across the country. Gor Mahia's much-anticipated opener against rivals Tusker FC has been pushed indefinitely due to Kogalo's participation in the CAF Champions League preliminary round, where they take on Rwanda's APR.
Na timu yetu tuna malengo pia ya kupigania taji, kwa hivyo hiyo ndio kitu ambacho kinatufanya tukiingia weekend ni kujaribu kutafuta ushindi ili tufike mahali tunataka kwenda.
Well, March 2021 will see a new Confederation of African Football president after immediate CAF president Ahmad's ban from all football-related activities by FIFA for a period of 5 years for corruption. Ahmad, who is from Madagascar, has been president of the continent's top football body since March 2017 and was standing for re-election when FIFA banned him for quote-unquote governance issues. In their statement, the world governing body said that Ahmad had, quote, breached his duty of loyalty, offered gifts and other benefits, mismanaged funds, and abused his position as the CAF president, end of quote. The 60-year-old, who is yet to respond publicly, has also been fined 200,000 Swiss francs, roughly 24 million shillings. Well, the bombshell, which comes with just about 4 months to the CAF General Assembly in Morocco, will now see 4 candidates go at it for the position of CAF president. Well, that was definitely trending across all platforms earlier today. And some tennis on at the Nairobi club. First, since the Ministry of Sport gave the go-ahead for non-contact sports to resume in the country, the Senior Challenge Series. Well, day 1 of the 2-day event was dominated by some of Kenya's top players, including Ibrahim Kibet, Angela Okutoi, and Cynthia Cheruto. Okutoi outclassed Shakira Varese in their first singles match, beating her 6-love, 6-love, while Michelle Njunge lost 6-2, 6-2 to Cynthia Cheruto. In the men's singles, Ibrahim Kibet beat Brandon Sagana 6-love, 6-1, while Raymond Odwor lost 6-love, 6-2 to 19-year-old Albert Njogu. Tennis Kenya's executive officer Nancy Ndoko said the event is a way of getting players back in rhythm as they prepare for next year's return.
Lined up 8 series of tournaments, 4 senior events and 4 junior events. All of them are invitational, so they will run from today 23rd all the way till the 6th of December. The level has dropped a bit because they've not been active that much. They've only managed to train also on very limited restrictions, so we hope with time they'll be able to open up, and with the competitions they'll be able to get back on form.
Well, and quickly before we wind up, there is that English Premier League game between Burnley hosting Crystal Palace at Turf Moor. Current score being